You're right on time for another episode of The Proof, where we unravel the truth behind the headlines. Today, we're going to look into the recent general elections in South Africa, where two prominent South African electoral commissioners were, according to posts on social media, bribed by Cyril Ramaphosa and Democratic Alliance leaders to rig results in favor of their parties. Welcome, everyone, to a journey of discovery on The Proof, powered by Africa Check. With me today is Africa Check's Kirsten Kossa to shed light on the posts circulating on social media in the aftermath of South Africa's general elections.
Always good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Now let's start with some context. Please give viewers a bit of background on the general elections.
Sure. So on the 29th of May, South Africa held its election, and this was to elect a new National Assembly and provincial legislatures across the country's 9 provinces. And this election was contested by a number of parties, and although the turnout was a historic low of around 58% of people who actually voted out of registered voters, this still works out to around 16 million people who voted. And this election was labeled a particularly important one and significant one for the future of the country.
Thank you, Kirsten. That helps viewers to understand the seriousness of the accusations that have been made. Now, let's get into the fact check proper. What are we looking at here?
Well, what this is a media statement from an account on X or Twitter, which was posted on the 1st of June, which is a few days after voting day, and it claimed that President Cyril Ramaphosa and leaders of the opposition party, the Democratic Alliance, or DA, bribed 2 members of South Africa's Independent Electoral Commission to actually rig the election results. So the claim was made by Njejeyabenguni Council, which is a group linked to the Mkhonto weSizwe party, Zuma's party, and this statement was shared on Facebook and TikTok, but it didn't actually have any evidence behind it, right? So the statement accuses the IEC members of being bribed with luxury cars or houses and cash, and it demanded that they resign within 24 hours or they would be sort of publicly called out.
These are very serious allegations with far-reaching consequences. Now, how have the IEC and other organizations responded to these allegations?
Well, the IEC quickly dismissed these allegations as there was no evidence presented for them, and they emphasized their commitment to a fair and transparent electoral process and said they were also considering legal action against the council for that sort of defamatory statement. And Media Monitoring Africa, which is a watchdog organization, has also debunked the claim.
Well, it's been a while since the statement was put out by the Njejeyabenguni Council. So can you tell us what evidence, if any, has the Njejeyabenguni Council presented to support their claims?
Well, despite their strong accusations, this council hasn't presented any proof at all. They claimed they had impeccable evidence, but they haven't provided any, so there isn't really any basis to make this claim on.
Kirsten, let's take a break here. When we return, we'll look at the results of the elections and the dangers of unproven statements like this during election period. Stay with us.
Earn 86,800 naira in 2 hours every day. Wow. So in 2024, you still believe that if you drop 2,000 naira or more or even less, you can get double, triple, or even in multiple folds in just some hours or minutes in a day? Okay. Wait, and then you see investment platforms like this, or this. These are Ponzi schemes, and they promise you double the amount of your money or unrealistic return on your investments within a very short period of time. So here's the deal. It is usually very risky when someone promises to double your investments within a few hours or a few days, and it is advisable that you be careful when dealing with such investment platforms. To be on guard against scams on Facebook, you can read our guide on how to spot risky investment platforms on Facebook on our website at www.africacheck.org. See you.
Welcome back. This is The Proof, powered by Africa Check. Now today, we're looking into the recent general elections in South Africa and a bribery claim that has emerged in the aftermath of the vote. Now, one of the political parties that participated in the election is accusing President Cyril Ramaphosa and DA leaders of bribing two prominent South African electoral commissioners to rig results in favor of their parties. Africa Check's Kristen Kossa has looked at the context of the claim and the response of various organizations. Now, Kristen, how do the actual election results compare to pre-election polls, and what does this say about the allegations?
So what we saw was the election results were largely in line with what pre-election polls had predicted. So the final results sort of all fell within the sort of range that major polls had been predicting for the ANC and also for the DA, the main opposition party. And the final results were very close to what was predicted for the other big parties like the EFF and the newly formed MK party. So this suggests that there are no sort of substantial differences that might indicate some form of manipulation. And this further points to the sort of baselessness of the claim of election rigging here. You know, if the ANC and DA had actually rigged the election, why would they do that to lose votes, right? Those parties either lost a lot of support like the ANC or overall pretty much stagnated like the DA compared to previous results.
Well, the electoral process is a matter of trust in the system. Now, what impact do you think these allegations might have on public trust in the electoral process?
Well, allegations like these can obviously shake public confidence, especially when they come without evidence but carry huge and incriminating allegations, right? However, the Independent Electoral Commission's handling of the whole situation and the consistency of the election results with independent polls has really helped mitigate some of the damage this could have caused. And this continued vigilance and transparency from the IEC has been crucial and will be crucial in maintaining public trust going forward.
All right, as we wrap up, I think it's good for viewers to know where things stand, given that South Africa's ruling ANC party, once led by Nelson Mandela, has lost its outright majority for the first time since dominating South African politics and since winning in the first post-apartheid elections 30 years ago.
So the ANC won about 40% of the vote, falling from about 57% in 2019. And this is the first time they've failed to get an outright majority, meaning this is a historic election for South Africa, right? But the ANC will now have to form an agreement with other parties on how they share power. So we're waiting to see what that looks like.
Thank you, Kirsten. Let's leave it at that for now. I know many within and outside South Africa are keenly watching to see how things play out. Thank you for your insights today.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
And to our viewers, remember to stay vigilant and verify before you believe. If you have comments or a claim you want us to fact check, tweet at AfricaCheck_NG. Follow News Central on our social media platforms. We are at News Central TV. And you can check out our website. It's www.newscentral.africa. Stay informed, stay vigilant. Until next time. I'm Darshan Usman, signing out.